Trisha Clip.
That's why I'm voting. Another reason why I'm voting for Joe Biden.
You know why I vote for Joe Biden?
Because of Michael Keaton.
No, he quoted Hamilton.
Oh,
Did you see that?
Don and Don.
We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. He said that in his speech.
Oh my God.
At the debates.
You know what that's from?
Hamilton.
No, but you know what it's from? You know that it comes from beforehand.
How to cope with an election.
Nice. What is this? These motherfuckers are crazy. H3, Ethan, and Ela Klein controversy tracker for 2024. Ethan uses girl filters on Instagram stories after going on political rants. Why does he always use this filter when he's trying to own the left? Does anyone else notice this? Anthony Fantano shades Ethan. Jesus Christ. Don't care, don't care, don't care, don't care. All right.
Not bad. Okay, good enough. And then...
You know they make really sexy women's Halloween costumes like that.
Oh, they do?
They're a lot more revealing.
A lot more revealing? That's okay. Thank you. Is that a chatter? Was that an IRL chatter? Not bad.
Okay. Oh, this is what was being spoken about earlier. When we started Offbrand, our plan was to help creators bring their ideas to life. For many creators, we did that, and we're proud of everything we helped create. Our people worked hard and made amazing content, but we failed to make the events business sustainable. As a result, we've made the difficult decision to shut that side of the business down. Offbrand Games is not going anywhere. Ludwig will continue to create and host events through mogul moves. Thank you so much to everyone who supported and enjoyed all that we helped produce. If you're looking for talented folks in production, please check out this sheet and consider hiring them to bring your projects to life. Apparently, they shut down the events branch of Offbrand Games. I imagine it's probably really hard to make these events profitable. I don't know if any of these events have ever been profitable. Like MLG couldn't do it, although there are a lot more gaming fans now, but I don't know. Like, I don't know like if DreamHack has ever been profitable or any shit like that. I don't know. Is this company a co-op? I don't know, maybe. I don't think it would matter if it was or if it wasn't, though. All right. What else? Is there anything else? AB just posted a reply to you. Oh, boy. Here is an example. I cropped it because I don't want to get others involved. If you want, I can DM you the rest of it. Does this sound like a Destiny fan? I mean, I guess it could be. Destiny hating W_ho. So you're scared of him because he says returd and rape jokes. Makes sense. Fragile can't. Okay. Eli the Traveler. Eli the Traveler.
I feel like no DGGer would censor the word, censor any words at all, and spell retard wrong.
Also, wait, Buck, yeah, shit. Hold on. Not even that. Yeah, never accept without a timestamp. Yeah, I want a timestamp because I want to see when he even got this. One, I don't even see this account existing on Twitter.
It's an Instagram thing, I think. It looks like.
Does it?
Yeah, looks like it's me.
Oh, this account doesn't even follow me. Eli the Traveler.
He follows H3H3.
Are these H3H3 accounts? I don't know who these people are. Teresa. Oh, no, wait. These are followers. Sorry.
No, who he's following. So he's following H3H3. He's following Ela Klein. I'm just trying to see if there's anyone here from DGG at all. I think these are all H3 people. The H3 podcast. Mindy Kaling. Oh, that's a celebrity. Sorry. There isn't a single person in here I recognize from DGG. Not one. So what? I don't get this. This is the DGGer that's attacking him? Someone who only doesn't follow a single DGG account? And that's, that's the worst DM he could find as well. That's like the worst of the worst.
Yeah, also, I don't even know if I would consider this harassment. The harassing thing is the guy calling him fragile? That's the harassment?
What's the date? I want to see the date. You know the date's a long time ago. Doesn't follow a single DGGer. What's your evidence, man? What the fuck? He's not going to give the date, by the way. He's going to say, I'm not playing this game. I'm not going forward anymore, etc., etc. That's the end. We have to reach out to the source. I'm following him.
Oh, wait. Destiny-hating whore. I'm sorry. I couldn't even read this fucking message. Okay. He's calling this person a Destiny-hating whore.
I'm messaging this guy right now. When did you message?
That's what this means. Jesus Christ. I don't believe any Destiny fan types like this. Do we type like this anywhere? What the fuck? I couldn't even read this.
No, we don't. We're not
also,
afraid
we say regard, not returd.
Oh, God. I feel like this is enough that if someone saw you type this in DGG, you would get evicted from DGG because they'd be like, dude, what's wrong with you? You have us fucked up with another community. And you would just that would be the end of you.
Bro. What was the date of the... This is the most Dude, shh. Okay.
Relax.
It's theater. Okay. This is theater.
Yeah.
None of this is real. Nobody believes this shit. None of this is real. Nobody believes this. All of this is a fucking performance. We're all part of a performance. This is the full DM. Destiny-hating whore. So you're scared of him because he says retard and rape jokes? Makes sense, Fragile. Can't handle classic humor. Ethan deserves better. They both love each other and you're interrupting the best bromance ever. Get over it. We won Ethan over a long time ago. Where do you think he gets all his points from? From us. Abdullah, you lost. Hamas, Olivia lost. Leblina lost. Frogan lost. Hamasabi Pictard lost. Dan lost. The Palestinians lost. Destiny Ethan, the good Dan, and Ela are the new frenemies. Really? You know what? This is actually such a stupid bait. It's looped back around to me thinking maybe it actually could be a DGGer. Where DGGer is like, what is the most retardedly stupid fucking thing I could ever fucking send to this person that would so obviously not be from a DGGer that this guy would still post because he's that stupid? What are you serious? This is a, what am I thinking of? Was there a meme over like a real life event or something, or was it a movie meme? It was something like ha 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 ha, like we are from X community, like written in Crayola crayons or something. There's some joke or there's something that I'm thinking of. Jesus Christ.
Wait, hold on. This DM is at least 6 weeks old. Yeah, I see it in chat.
Yeah, but I don't know why we would think that means that it has to be 6 weeks old. Don't ever read chat. We always do all your own investigations.
I'm sorry, I forgot. Yeah. Forgot it.
Because you could just screenshot that picture and send the same hate thing now, I think, right? Although, it could theoretically be in a story, but whatever, it's dumb.
I mean, he should say when it was also, right?
Yeah, I asked him.
You
for
know,
the date.
also, hey, AB, still not your enemy.
He said
We know
the
what's
date of
happening.
this DM was November 1st.
Not your enemy, bro. Okay? And nothing you do will appease these people. Attacking us does nothing. All it does is literally nothing. They won't care until you quit and say that Ethan is literally Hitler. Until you do that, nothing will change for you.
Yeah.
Ever.
What is the
Ever.
before the loaner box stuff? When did the loaner box even happen? So this was 6 weeks ago. And it was literally in response to this fucking story of some fucking person on Instagram. This is an H3 Snark fan. That's what this is. This is an H3 Snark fan because they follow all the H3 fucking people. They know all the fucking drama and they know all the fucking memes. This is an H3 Snark fan. 100%, by the way. 100%. Oh yeah, wait. Also, wait. You're right. This isn't even a DM to him. I bet it's a DM to the girl. That's why it makes more sense. That's why he's calling her a destiny-hating whore. It's not even his DM. Was this DM to you or the girl who posted the story? That's his girlfriend? Yeah, okay, dude, fuck all this shit. Bro, fuck these people. Loner Box only went on H3 show in late November, November 26th. Yeah, this is okay. Yeah, so this is an H3 Snark poster. I don't even know how to. But this person also sent nasty messages to my coworker Olivia. Then that's even okay. So I don't think my community even. I don't know how to say this without sounding like mean. I'm not trying to sound mean. Even knew much about. I don't.
You're really putting in a lot of effort here. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it for what?
I don't know. Just like going above and beyond.
Wait, this is for my community. I just don't like when people accuse my community of doxing and harassing people. It's fucking retarded.
Let's see. I just don't understand why you think. Yeah, well, you got your own thing, you know.
Any of that? Why you don't think what? Well, I don't like it when there are bad claims of people saying, just lying about my community floating around out there. It's fucking stupid. And it all builds up into like people having these ideas that my community's doing weird shit. And all of these are like fake as fuck. Until Loner Box went on Ethan's show in late November. This person is 1000% an H3 Snark poster. For some reason, you are throwing my community under the bus to get on their good side, question marks, in parentheses, when it seems incredibly obvious that they are the ones harassing you, at least from this account. Destiny, Mr. Comment, look at the links. "23 weeks ago. Damn, you are so hot. If you were pro-Israel, imagine how much hotter you'd be." Okay. So what, do you think the guy's just like an Israeli simp or something?
23 weeks ago was a while, too. That was even pre-Twitch drama.
Lena is H3's team. I thought it was this guy's wife or girlfriend. Check the post it was under. What, I don't know what I don't know anything about any of this. I don't. When you tell me to, I don't know what any of this is. I don't know who any of these people are. I don't know what you want me to check. She works in the show. She's
Okay.
Ethan's PA. She's on the show as well.
Okay, so
It's
felt
the-
so surreal doing a live show from the Greek theater. I love being able to see the theater while it was empty in the morning doing blah, blah, blah. Allison says, hi, word love. I think that's Dan, got engaged. Thank you for someone and doing this in the glam shots. I'll miss the blonde hair. And he responded saying, it's too bad you're not Israeli or something.
I guess. This is the post. Everyone in the comments are calling them hot. She's both wife and staff. Okay.
It's not, listen, I just followed the account, Ignelius. I tried to message him to find out when the dates and shit were. Okay? Literally, I said it on stream 5 minutes ago. Not a fake account. It's me. I just followed the guy and messaged him 5 minutes ago. Trying to get to the bottom of this.
Masquerade. Oh my god.
Is this Ignelius? Are you retarded? Is this guy watching without the fucking audio on for the stream? He's like using subtitles or something? Is there, can you ask if there's other evidence or reasons for him to think that DGG is aligned against him?
Are there any other DMs or anything that you have gotten? Or is all of your suspicion based on this single DM from before?
Too harsh.
My community knew who you were.
A little bit harsh
your
there.
association with Ethan, question mark, question mark.
A little abrasive, as they say in the business.
Oh.
Dumbass Ignelius was behind in the VOD. What a dumb bastard.
Yeah, the other psychological thing I would say to keep in mind is that remember what I've said before. When people say that a thing is happening and you ask them for evidence, usually they'll lead with the strongest thing. The fact that he had to go back 6 weeks to get a DM.
It's nothing to do with DGG either. It's,
Yeah. I bet he didn't receive a single one, actually. I think that's it. I think he didn't receive a single bad DM because I think he would have shown it. I don't think it was even one.
Look, you know what's happening here. Like, you can...
Yeah, I've already seen. I said it already. He's just trying to win the favor of this subreddit because he doesn't want to be attacked by them anymore. He wants to be with the cool kids club of like the tankies.
You can't do it. You can't do it.
Well, you can if you just shit on all of the enemies. You just have to do the in group out group thing.
Well, no, he can't stay at H3 and do it. There's no shot.
Oh, maybe not.
Not unless he was like completely adversarial to Ethan. Every time Ethan spoke, he was like, "Shut up, Zionist."
Sure.
Like, that's it. Outside of that, no. The thing is, he should be more experienced with this type of, like, shit. Like, he's been around for a while. It's not like that he's, like, baby's first time interacting with the internet and the community, right?
Yeah, careful. Remember, you're pretending that it's real again.
What's real?
Anything these people are saying. Like
No,
when,
no, I'm talking
like
about Snark. No, that Snark is, like, going after him, which I guess they probably are, right?
Oh, sure.
Right, this is not new to him that, like...
Oh, no, yeah, but he probably knows that. He knows it's bullshit. He knows this is bullshit, 100%.
Of course, yeah, right.
Like when Ludwig was like, Destiny's community's coming after me, and he posted that one DM from that random fucking dude that didn't follow anybody related to anything, yeah. Like, these people have accounts that are big enough, and they've been in community big enough to know that, like, you would never take one DM like this and think, like, it's an entire... it's so stupid. Okay.
I'm about this, I don't mean to do this, because this is rough. You know, I think he deleted his own account.
He might have.
I don't hold it against him. He's going through a hard situation. It sucks. He's trying everything he can to try and stop, like, him coming after him for this, like, being called, like, a self-hating Arab and all this other shit. Like, it sucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can understand that sucks, but fuck you, like, brutally, if you think that, like, in order to alleviate the own pressure that you are dealing with, that you're gonna take it out on me. Like, get the fuck off the internet or grow a fucking spine and stand up for something that you actually fucking believe in, rather than like, well, you know, fuck this, I'm just gonna be like a total degenerate fucking piece of shit to everybody else so that I can continue to be part of this massive bully lying community. That's bullshit. Like, just get the fuck off the internet or have like some actual, like, morals.
We're like, just like, sorry, DGG is literally just the boogeyman, like, the easy
but
one
it's
to
bullshit
fucking blame
that,
for everything.
That if you need to get it's bullshit that if you need to have any sort of credit anywhere on the internet, then it's just time to just throw me and my whole community under the bus for it. Like, that can't be the case anymore. That's just you're like a negative human at that point. Like, oh well, fuck me, I guess I'm having some trouble. Break glass in case of emergency. Time to just say that, like, Destiny or his community did some obsessed shit with me. It's like, bro, you literally you're trying to appease an obsessive anti-fan subreddit. Like, you're mentally ill.
Oh
you're
my
sick.
god,
You're
you
sick.
know what it is? It's the break glass and be like, imagine the break glass in case of emergency, and behind it, it's like a picture of Casey Tron doing the fucking spinning the fucking Reddit comments to come out in the person's defense. That's literally what it is.
Like, they're
right?
rich.
But that plus like a few other communities right there. That's the break glass. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I need a hero.
Yeah, wait, what was the original claim? Can somebody link me? No, because now I'm even more... Fuck this. Because it wasn't even that he'd gotten one. It was that he was getting constant harassment. Isn't that what he said? It was constant harassment, he said, right?
On, but a lot of like people who come in this stream, and I banned them just because I did not want them to kill the vibes for other people. Fucking coming. I knew it was coming from a certain community. I knew it. I know which email that was connected to.
What? what email it's connected to? Is he like in the tubes? Is he in the pipes? Like
No, he
checking
didn't
out?
know what email that account that was hacked was connected to, supposedly.
Honestly, I part of me knew this was coming. I knew it was fucking coming. I knew it was coming from a certain community. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
Remember, the original claim is constant hate DMs from people claiming to be your fans. Constant hate DMs. Sends me a DM from 6 weeks ago.
Has he responded to your
Yes.
latest request?
I don't think so.
Salty,
Sweet.
and that's
Nope.
exactly who it is.
That's exactly who it is.
Yeah, Salty, and that's exactly who it is.
Why would the assumption be it's coming from DGG and unrelated community? No, because what he's trying to do is he just wants to be on the good side of this H3 Snark subreddit, and so they jump on the memes of like, oh, DGG the boogeyman, right? That's all this is. It's just all. But I mean, like this kind of shit starts with people like Vosh and Hassan too. They make up shit over and over and over again. Yeah.
I knew it's. No. No. I knew as soon as I said anything in defense of Hassan, they'd come for me. I knew this was fucking coming. I knew it was coming.
But dude, what is that from? I knew they'd come for me.
Like, come
from,
on,
like,
bro.
someone-
What the fuck? Yeah, like this guy is like he's acting like he's is it Viserys? Was that, or what's the guy's name? In Game of Thrones, after he sends out the letters about Daenerys' fucking rule, he's like, I knew it would be time for me to burn. Like, come on, bro. Or Varys, not Viserys, Varys.
It was good timing for this to happen, though.
Okay. Fun times.
Okay, you said that he has 2 Reddit accounts, right?
I think he has multiple ones, yeah.
Okay, and the one that got deleted, the last messages you can see on push shift.
Maybe I don't use that website. Somebody else sent me that.
Okay, let me take a look. What's his name on Reddit?
I don't know, but I'm not like trying to dig through all this shit right now.
I'm not trying to go past like 5 days. I'm just trying to find out what the fuck is going on.
I don't know any of his shit. It's on the H3 Snark subreddit. All right, what else has happened in the past week? What else do we got? My happy birthday, loser. Okay, he said, obviously it's not just one DM. I wasn't saving them as I went along, but I can send you more. I've blocked most of these accounts, so I'd have to find them and unblock them to see the messages. And then he links a screenshot of a post on my subreddit. AB from H3 calls Lonerbox a self-hating Arab on stream. After his appearance, proceeds to call him not pro-Palestinian when called out. Why don't they just... why didn't they tell him all this directly to his face on the podcast? And then reply, because he's a pussy, that's why. Plausible alternative is that he doesn't want to be disrespectful on what ultimately is Ethan's show and Ethan's guest. Nobody there was looking to start a fight or an argument, and calling someone a self-hating Arab to their face isn't really conducive to that respectful civil environment Ethan was trying to maintain. Because have you seen this deleted post in your sub? I'm clearly not well liked. Also, not to mention your co-host claimed I was watching pro-Hamas propaganda. Nice.
Bro, I fucking messaged him and explained it also. And he was watching Al Jazeera documentaries. Like, I think someone linked them in chat what he was watching, and it was not fucking far off. What the fuck? And it was in support of him, even though that was the fucking case. What the fuck? Hold on. I'll post my DMs I sent to him. I don't want him to think that I...
Wait, why? No, wait, there's no reason to.
Okay.
Okay. So I was writing my essays for my law class. Also here, look, we have more. We're selling shirts and stuff again. Here you go. Boom, boom. I'm gonna have to close down the events arm of DGG, the co-op, if we don't sell $20 million worth of stuff. Good luck. Allow EU to buy as well. Can Europeans not buy this? Based. Good. I don't want European sellers. Show you modeling them? Oh, I think we took pictures of that. I don't know if... Oh, cringe. Nope. Okay. Can you cut the terrorism arm of DGG first? It's clearly costing a lot of your time right now. I could make a joke about it, but if I make a joke about it, it's going to appear unironically on Twitter.
Oh, here. I'm guessing that's the case because, or what I messaged you right there. But it's a chatter, as you say, so, you know. but I believe it because that's what I saw.
Okay. Wait,
Yeah.
believe what?
Oh, what I messaged you on Discord.
I see it, but what about this?
That those were the two things that he was watching at the time when I said that. So I was basically saying, well, whatever. You get it. I don't... Nothing. Those are the videos that he was watching, allegedly, that I commented on, and the reason that I said that. I guess I'll just post it in chat. Here, fuck it.
Wait. Okay. Okay. We're good. We're all moving on from this.
Okay.
We're all taking deep breaths.
For what it's worth, I hold nothing against the guy. I would also do whatever it took to get out of those people's bad graces. Just...
I can't tell this guy. He links. He says he's been getting comments like these for months. Like he can't be this stupid, right? Hold on.
I thought we were done.
Destiny community has been openly talking about how they are going to attack the crew next. Not surprised, but Ethan invited this. This is an H3 Snark comment. This is not from my community. This is from H3 Snark. That's exactly what this is. Like, what? I don't know who that... hold on. Bro, like, this guy is probably a fucking, like a Hassan fan. Jesus Christ. Actually, this guy's probably an H3 Snark poster. This guy's literally... The H3 sub is getting bad. Only the worst fans are left. Call Arabs colonizers get upvotes. Call Israel colonizers get attacked. This guy's probably literally an H3 Snark fucking poster. He's literally calling out saying that my people are brigading. Here's one of the many DGG brigaders I found. What is even brigading here? What is he even talking about? What? Holy, he actually, oh no, what is this? I get this all the time. They say I'm parasocial to Hassan, but every single time they post about him more than me, and I'm actually a fan of his. Bro, come on. Are you serious? My community is getting blamed for fucking actual Hassan fans? Come on. This is our conversation. He sent me the full screenshot. I said, what was the date of this DM? He says, November 1st. I say, and wait, was this DM to you or the girl who posted the story? He said it was to him. If I had to guess, my guess is that the poster probably saw that story. The guy probably reposted it, and the guy thought that he was responding to the girl instead of the guy. That's why he calls him a whore, and he meant to probably call the girl a whore. But he says, but this person also sent nasty messages to my coworker, Olivia. And then I said, okay, sure. So I don't think my community even knew much about any of this drama until Lonerbox went on Ethan's show in late November. This person is 1,000,000% an H3 Snark poster, and for some reason you are throwing my community under the bus to get on their good side, 4 question marks, when it seems incredibly obvious that they are the ones harassing you, at least from this account. Are there any other DMs or anything that you have gotten, 4 question marks, or is all of your suspicion based on the single DM from before my community knew who you were and your association with Ethan? He says, obviously, it's not just one DM. I wasn't saving them as I went along, but I can send you more. I've blocked most of these accounts, so I'd have to find them and unblock them to see the messages. And then he sends me this screenshot. Hold on. AB from H3 calls Lonerbox a self-hating Arab on stream. After his appearance, proceeds to call him not pro-Palestinian when called out. Why didn't they tell him all this directly to his face on the podcast? Because he's a pussy, that's why. And this is what he sent me, I guess. And then he says, after he posts this, he says, have you seen this deleted post on your subreddit? I'm clearly not well liked. Also, not to mention your co-host claimed I was watching pro-Hamas propaganda. I replied and I said, 1, clearly not well liked is a far, 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 far cry from these people have been sending nonstop hate DMs and have been hacking my accounts. Obviously, people don't like you there because you called Lonerbox a self-hating Arab. Yeah, no shit, people are going to be mad, but it was a 1 or 2 day post, and then people moved on to the next thing. 2, Dan claimed that you were just watching stuff to try to appease another community, but that it would never be enough. He literally clarified immediately after that he didn't mean you were just watching pro-Hamas propaganda. You literally spoke to him about this and cleared this up. No, I'm pretty sure my sub was literally roasting Dan for saying this. I think that was true. If we were to dig through both subreddits and find more hateful posts about you, do you think that you'd find more in my subreddit or in H3 Snark? And then his response is, dude, I know H3 Snark hates me. Then he sends a screenshot of the one guy, the Twitch Crackers guy. The Destiny community has been openly talking about how they are going to attack the crew next. Not surprised, but Ethan invited this. And he says, these are comments that I've been getting for months. And I said, that's an H3 Snark comment, right? That's not from my community. He says, I don't know who that comment is, but I'm saying that for months, people have been warning me about your community, and then all of a sudden I get hacked for the first time ever. Like I said, if I was wrong, then I apologize, but it wasn't a random accusation. And then I said, people who have made up lies about my community are making up more lies about my community, so that's why you're making up lies about my community? 7 question marks. Like, this guy is clearly an H3 Snarker. Look at his name. He looks like a fucking Hassan fan. And then I'm linking screenshots of his tweets about why do these clowns love cucking for billionaires? Can we just call it United Healthcare now? EXP. It's not that I hate Musk. I also wouldn't care if he got United Healthcare. Here's one of the many DGG brigaders I found, screenshots of this, and then a screenshot of him saying things. And now he says in response, tell chat I said hi. Oh, because he's watching. I don't
well, then we
even.
can just
I
talk
don't
on
even.
here.
I don't even not like you. I don't even have a problem with you. I mean, well, I might not like you if I knew you more, but I don't even have a problem with you. I just don't know why you can't just not lie about my community. Why not just say like some weirdo is harassing me, post it, and then move on? Why do you have to take Why do you have to take the opportunity to try to like win virtue credits with like one of the most disgustingly evil, hateful fucking communities on the internet right now? Like it's like actual like. It's like inhuman behavior. Like it is such a disgusting thing to do to try to like win favor with a bully by becoming a bully. Like it's the worst type of behavior that a person can do. What the fuck? Destiny, 100% convinced now that he didn't get hacked and he's lying because he's embarrassed about how he messaged the Snark mods. People, maybe, I don't know, maybe to get hacked. I have no idea. I don't know, who knows? But like he's literally, you're acting like maliciously.
With one of the only other communities that actually would give a shit about you as well.
Fuck my life. My DM's about to go crazy. Dude, you're such a disgusting fuck. Oh my god. This is cry bullying 101. Step 1, make up bullshit claim with no evidence. Step 2, get called out on bullshit claim with no evidence. Step 3, complain when people call you out more for a lack of evidence on bullshit claim. 4, post people calling you out on your bullshit as evidence of original harassment, even though there is zero evidence of you ever even being harassed by said community. AB can learn, Destiny. Don't be too harsh. What do you mean can learn? I don't care. This is like a bad person. This guy is a bad person, right? Like, I wouldn't want a person who's a friend like this. Like, oh, here's a community we don't like. Let's just make shit up about them. Like, no, this is disgusting.
Let me say it because I know it's going to be
22
possibly
days ago.
clipped. I think, for the most part, from my understanding, there's two groups. One group who genuinely cares about what's going on overseas, and then another that's there to just want to ruin our fucking lives. Like, and it's tough. It's tough to know what's what.
That's funny.
But I think we can all agree that the real enemy is Miriam.
Wait, what?
I don't even know who he's referring to there. I don't know why I got linked that. Is that supposed to be about me? I have no. It might have been. Who knows?
What did he say again specifically? There's two groups. One of them genuinely cares, and the other one
Wants
what?
to ruin his life.
So what is the group that genuinely cares, and what's the one that wants to ruin his life?
Probably Hassan's group, or people who are pro-Palestinian. I don't know.
But they genuinely care. Who wants to ruin his life?
I don't know. I don't know what that clipper was referring to, unless he was referring to me. This is 22 days ago, so this might be like right as the loaner box stuff is happening. If it is, then that's probably what that was referring to. I don't know if there's good evidence that this guy is the same guy as the... What was the Instagram account name?
Hold on, I'll tell you. Eli.the.traveler.
Why do you think this is the same account?
unfollowing this account. He's not gonna as well.
Same name. Oh, Eli the Traveler. Oh, I see. Fuck, I can't look at this. He said it could be a coincidence. However, he says that if you look at this account's followers, then this account doesn't follow H3H3 or DGG. It just follows Hassan on TikTok. I don't know if my TikTok account logged in, though. I don't know. You guys can go look at that. If that's true, that's even more funny. But I don't even know if, I mean, that could just be a coincidence. Like, we don't know 100%. Check the likes. I don't know if I can even click on anything without being logged in. Like, Eli the Traveler could just be, like, that's probably not the most unique name in the world, so.
Eli Copter.
True. Why don't you try their tactics, and when they're on show, say, I've been bullied by these communities for years, maybe it will work. No, because the way that it works is the same thing with the Trumples. Because they say, well, you've already been doing all of it, right? They actually can get away with doing that because they'll say, well, you've been doing it the whole time. All right. Jesus. Remember, our Destiny had 3K average online and LS of 6K. What happened? Reddit changed the way that they track active online people, and it cut it all by like anywhere from 50 to 90%. Like, it significantly cut down. They probably just hold an online session like a lot shorter than they used to. Like, they probably counted before for like 12 hours or something. Going Soul, Real Butter, Fluke, Sold, Diva, Soul, Once, Solo, Tang, Juan, Pound, Twice, World, Mullet. Can Juan be anything but a currency? I'm not going to be able to do this. Mullet, like hairstyles, I wouldn't know any of this shit. Oh, wait. Soul can be one. Once, one. Solo, one. Soul? Can that be one? Butter. One. One? No. No. Mullet, world, twice. Pound, dang. No. Once. A fluke? One time? No. No, no, no. Not even one off. Fuck! Okay, no. going. World twice bound mullet. Jesus, holy shit. The ultimate fucking retard filter. I'm getting filtered so hard right now. Things that you hear at an auction? Going once, going twice, sold? No way. Maybe yes, easy one. Okay. Whew. All right. Words in an auction-ending phrase? I don't know. Okay. Okay. Pound and won are currencies. Butter, the world, the mullet. Could these be currencies that I'm not aware of? Like a soul? Or like a sole? No. It's going to be one off and it's going to fuck me. It's going to be one off and it's going to fuck me. Fuck! No! It's over. A fluke? Could that be a currency? A diva? Do you have a diva? Do you have any tangs? Just fuck me. Just fuck me, fam. A reel? Why does that sound? No. Like things from the when we were mullets in the 80s, like a diva or like a tang.
Mullet's also a fish, isn't it?
I don't know. Diva, tang, mullet, and a fluke. Butter. Bro.
All right, I'll catch you later, man.
Be careful. Bro, I'm just fuck me. Fuck me. Fuck me. Don't care. Fuck me. Fuck me. Ah! The real. Rial? Why do I even know this? Why do I feel like this is... What is the Saudi Arabian currency called? There's no way it's that, is it? What is this called? The Saudi Rial. But that's not it, is it? It's Brazil's? Brazil currency. Oh, real... Holy shit. Okay. Fluke, Solo, Tang, Soul, Diva, Butter, World.
Hello.
Hi, what's up?
Wanted to know your personal take on the United Healthcare CEO getting killed.
Probably not a good
deserved it?
thing. No, I don't think so.
How come?
One, I'm not even sure if he was doing anything illegal. So it's kind of weird to be killing people for things that are allowed in terms of business operating under the law. And then two, I think it is misdirecting anger at healthcare issues in the United States, and it's trying to levy it upon a solo industry, which is health insurance, when there's like exorbitant costs across the entirety of the healthcare spectrum, from pharmaceuticals and providers to insurance to every other fucking bullshit. All of our shit is really expensive.
Right. Okay, I'll push back on two things there. One, I think it's perfectly sensible to use violence to stop somebody doing something immoral, regardless of whether or not it's legal. Slavery, for instance, was illegal. There were, slaves and anti-slavery activists who would kill slave owners.
Yeah, sure, but there's probably going to be like levels of removal from that, I would imagine, right? So, for instance,
well,
like,
yeah,
let's say we buy
not
products from
everything is
slaves.
as immoral as slavery.
Sure.
I'm just using that as I'm just saying I think that's a poor argument in and of itself.
Well, yeah, it's not the only argument that I'm relying on, but I think that if something is literally a legal behavior, we're going to start to need more justifications for why like this is condemnable with vigilante like assassination. I think. Like I think if it was like immoral and clearly
like,
illegal,
look
I think
at
that you
eating
have,
meat, for instance. Like, I think it's totally fine for somebody to use vigilante justice to stop people from killing and torturing animals. Now, I don't think that's a effective means of activism, but I don't know how you could justify, torturing and murdering billions of animals, even though it's perfectly legal and it's one of the most common, human behaviors.
but I think that's a lot more easy to link to like a directly immoral thing, right? Rather than the CEO of a health insurance company that is making decisions about accepting or denying claims I think we're many levels removed at that point, I think.
I don't think so. Look, the guy's the CEO of the company. Ultimately, really, the buck stops with him. He's the one who represents the company. I'm sure he had a huge part to play in why they end up denying so many claims, and apparently it has to do with this bullshit AI software.
Sure. So
They're also a huge anomaly.
claim. So one, the AI software, that's an allegation right now in a civil suit. We don't even know how real or true that is, and that only concerns elderly patients on a Medicare, I think Plus or Medicare Advanced plan or something, and it only has to do with the fact that the denials had a high appeal rate, 90%. That's if, and that's just a claim made in a civil suit. We don't actually know. They don't provide any evidence in that suit. You can look up the lawsuit if you want. Then the second thing is, just because somebody appeals, just because somebody denies a claim, is every single claim denial unethical, or?
I would say nearly.
How?
Wait.
Okay, is insurance obligated to cover every single claim that you make then under insurance policy?
I would say in all likelihood, nearly every claim. So there are obviously, different insurance policies. So if something doesn't fit within your policy, that's one thing. So I know, they might not cover certain health conditions. I don't know, maybe dental isn't covered. So if you get your teeth knocked out or something, they won't cover that. I can understand something like that. Where somebody, I don't know, just files the wrong type of claim, but assuming it is covered by your policy, so for instance, maybe you have a heart problem, or maybe you're overweight, diabetic or something, and according to your policy, any kind of medication or treatment that would be covered under the policy to treat those conditions, if that's denied, then 99% of the time, or 99.9% of the time, it would be unethical to deny the claim.
Wait, why do you think a company would deny a claim if it was covered by your policy and if a doctor prescribed it to you and it was medically necessary?
They do that all the fucking time. They do it completely and utterly arbitrarily. So
wait, why?
To make money. They just want to take your money and not give any payouts. That happens all the fucking time.
But they literally have to do that. You have to pay out 80% of what you receive in premiums as healthcare coverage. If you weren't paying it out and you were making too much administrative cost, you would have to literally reimburse your payers.
What do you mean?
As part of the ACA, there's an 80-20 rule in the United States that a health insurance company can at the most have 20% of the money that they make be part of their administrative cost. 80% has to be paid out in premiums, or not in premiums, in healthcare coverage costs.
Okay, I don't know how that contradicts what I said.
Well, let's say that you receive $1 million in premiums and you decide to just cancel everybody's coverage because you're being a dick. Well, if you have all this money sitting around in premiums and you haven't paid out any in healthcare, well, now you just have to give the money back to your customers. You can't keep that.
Yeah, that still doesn't contradict what I said. I'm not claiming they try to deny every single claim possibly. What I'm saying is, whenever they get an opportunity, they'll try to not, pay out some of these claims, especially when they think they have some sort of leeway.
Well, what is the percentage of claims that you think are just bullshit, they're just fuck this?
Well, I don't have any hard numbers, but when we're talking about United Healthcare, they're a huge anomaly. Over 30% of their claims get denied, where I think the industry average is somewhere between 10 and 15%. So they have somewhere between 2 to 3 times more claim denials than any other healthcare company.
Sure, but then why?
So at least there, I think it's like relatively
wait.
safe
So the first
to
question
assume.
is, so are the other people that have, let's assume the industry standard is 15%. Are all of those claim denials also like arbitrary bullshit?
Well, I can't give you any kind of hard numbers, but yeah, if the industry average is about 15% and United Healthcare has over 30% denial, that's a pretty odd, like, weird anomaly.
Sure, but why would
So
we
I don't
assume?
think it's a stretch to say,
wait.
you know,
This is
somewhere
wait,
around
wait,
10 or 15%
why would we
of their
assume?
fucking claim
Wait. One point at a
rejections
time.
are
One point at a
bullshit.
time. Why would we assume that if their rates were higher, it's because of arbitrary or capricious bullshit? That there's no reason. Could we not think of possibly other explanations?
Well, it's possible, but I mean, when the industry average is around 15% and they have over twice the claim denial, that's very suspicious.
Sure, but then the
I
next
don't
step
know
would be
why
to
I
ask
would
a
logically assume.
Yeah, I'm not telling you to assume anything. You're logically assuming that it's evil. I'm saying, why not think of maybe why that might be? Why not do the first part of investigation on it and figure out well, why is that?
Well, sure. I mean, I don't know exactly how I would go about finding research on this. I might be able to find something, but what I'm saying is that is highly suspicious.
Yes, but
Also,
suspicious
by the way,
is not suspicious is your starting point. That's not your
okay,
conclusion.
well, listen, by the way, I am friends with doctors who work in the United States, and they tell me these bullshit claim denials happen all the fucking time. And
Who is a doctor
sometimes...
representing?
Sorry?
Who is a doctor representing?
Well, the patient, really.
No, the doctor's representing themselves. Doctors should have an antagonistic relationship against insurance companies. They're trying to get money out of them, of course. So why would I take a doctor's opinion? That'd be like asking a health insurance company, do you think that doctors file too many bullshit claims? Of course they're going to say yes, right?
Do health insurance managers have more medical expertise than medical doctors?
It depends on what the question is about specifically.
Okay, so
like a healthcare manager that's managing like a broad policy about whether
you're interrupting me.
Well, hold on, let me do one point at a time. If a healthcare manager, if you have a question about which drug has a better outcome for patients or whatever, I might expect a person that manages a policy to have more firsthand information about that than a doctor. Because one, it might be outside of their area of specialties, and two, the doctor probably sees way fewer patients than an insurance company would see patients coming through. I would imagine they're going to know the numbers on that a lot more. Now, for a specific patient,
an insurance company have more knowledge on what medications to take than a doctor or a pharmacist?
Because it's the insurance company's job, and they literally get paid based on their information and ability to know this. That's where they make their money, is knowing what's appropriate.
Do they go through medical school or become a pharmacist? Is that actually what they do? Do they hire actual medical doctors and pharmacists?
You wouldn't hire a medical doctor. Somebody that works in the clinical side of things isn't going to be valuable there. It's going to be a researcher that would be valuable. Doctors wouldn't be expected to know all the research like a researcher would who's working for a health insurance company, right? If you were to go to a doctor and start quizzing him on all the latest drug study, the doctor probably wouldn't know. It's not in his job. He doesn't have to know. He shouldn't know. That's not what his goal is.
So why in the fuck do doctors have the right to prescribe medication, but these fucking insurance company providers don't?
Because the doctor can look at an individual patient, assess the totality of their conditions, and for one person prescribe what they feel.
So do you think we should change the healthcare system and have insurers actually prescribe medication since they'd know better?
No, I don't think an insurer would know better for an individual patient. Because an insurer is going to look at me and say, well,
there
72%.
you go. Then why are they fucking denying claims when you're admitting the fucking doctor would know better?
I don't know. Neither of us know that answer because you haven't even looked into it. You're just assuming they deny to be evil.
Well, no, we know the answer. They try to they try to deny claims so that they don't lose money.
But that doesn't make any sense because if they deny, on the UHC people, I think that 18% of their costs.
Oh my God.
They can't keep all the money. They would have to pay it back. They'd have to give it back to their customers.
Okay, dude, this isn't you're using the absolute most ridiculous extreme. I'm not saying they deny absolutely every single
To be
claim.
clear, you're the one saying they
What I'm
arbitrarily
saying
deny
is-
some claims just to make money. That's an extreme statement. You're saying
Yes,
that they just
no,
deny
it's
some
not.
things to
No,
make some
it's
money.
not. No, it's not, and they obviously fucking do that. That is no fucking secret.
It's no secret because everybody on Reddit says it. Well, I mean, like, just.
Buddy, why you literally admitted a doctor would know better when it comes to prescribing medication, and you just admitted that insurance company providers deny some of these medical claims when it comes to like medications.
I don't know why they deny the claim. I don't wait. Why do you think? Why do you think they deny the claim? Do you think they deny it because they're saying they know better than the doctor, or are they denying because of other reasons, like pre-authorization reasons?
Well, here's an example. Okay, so here's an example. Ozempic, right? Or Wegovy. Ozempic is technically the drug they prescribe for diabetes. Wegovy is the one that they prescribe for obesity. So they will deny covering medication costs for Ozempic or Wegovy on the basis of this drug isn't FDA approved for treating obesity, therefore we're going to deny coverage. Why the fuck do you think they would do that when there is just an innumerable amount of randomized trial proving these are the most effective drugs for fucking obesity? Why would they deny the coverage when all of these fucking doctors want to prescribe this to their patients so that they can, reduce the risk of heart disease?
I'm sorry, hold on. So your claim is that you think that insurance
these drugs
companies
reduce the risk of fucking dying.
You think that
this is proven?
It's not.
So
If it was proven, then why isn't it? Then your issue is with the FDA. You think that insurance companies should...
No, it's not.
Hold on, let me just...
My
you think that
issue
insurance
is with the
companies...
provider.
You think that... No, not the
they're
provider,
doing that
with the insurance
totally
company.
arbitrary, so they don't have to...
Okay.
cover
It's
the
not
cost of
arbitrary.
these
You
very
just said it's
expensive
off-label.
medications.
That's not arbitrary. You think insurance companies should be mandated?
It's not off...
You think that insurance companies
what
should
do you
be
mean
mandated?
off-label? What the fuck do you mean off-label?
As in, if it's not FDA approved to treat a thing, that's an off-label prescription.
Okay, so are you against the vaccine rollout for COVID?
No.
Okay, well, that wasn't FDA approved.
It literally
Only
was.
the
It was an
one-
emergency
only-
use
only the
authorization. It was
Pfizer.
EUA. Also, that has nothing to do with off-label.
Okay. Double standard then. If it's an emergency.
That's not off-label.
What do you mean by off-label?
If you have a medication...
Just because something isn't FDA approved, that doesn't mean it's off-label.
That's literally what off-label means. When you prescribe a medication to treat something, that's not what the medication is approved for. That's an off-label prescription.
Okay, Destiny, the fucking reality is, Ozempic or Wegovy, whatever you want to fucking call it, you understand what kind of medication I'm talking about. There are meta-analyses of randomized trials proving when these drugs are used to treat obesity, patients have a lower risk of fucking dying.
Sure. Then do you get the FDA approval on it? Then you get FDA approval on it.
Even though,
Then you get FDA approval on it.
Wait. Please don't interrupt me. It is proven that Ozempic reduces a patient's risk of fucking dying if they're using these medications to treat obesity. You're telling me an insurance company should be able to deny that kind of use that is permitted and recommended by a doctor simply because it isn't FDA approved. So you're telling me they should have a right to deny covering a patient's medication that would save their life simply because of the arbitrary decision not to approve coverage of medications that don't have FDA approval.
That's not arbitrary. I don't know if
Okay.
insurance companies should be forced to approve off-label prescriptions. They might sometimes. I don't know if they do or they don't, but I don't think that it's a good argument to say they should be forced.
Well, guess what? This is why the fucking United Healthcare CEO got shot. Nobody fucking cares about the stupid bullshit. Everybody can see fucking through it.
Hold on. In
The only
Canada,
reason they're denying-
do they
only
let you
reason
have
they're denying
Ozempic?
these
Hold on. In
claims
Canada,
is
do
because
they
it
do they
gives them an
prescribe
excuse
Ozempic
not
for
to
weight
cover
loss in
these
Canada? Is that a thing they do?
Sorry?
In Canada, do they prescribe Ozempic for weight loss?
Yeah, they do.
What is your process in Canada for approving drugs? Do you have your own like FDA or something?
No. So I think we follow, I don't know if Canada has their own version of the FDA or if I don't know exactly how that works. But Ozempic is approved for, or sorry, I should say, there are prescriptions given for Ozempic for weight loss. It's just that we don't use private healthcare insurance. It's covered by the province. Each province has their own universal healthcare, and doctors do prescribe it for weight loss. Usually people pay out of pocket, though, because it's actually much cheaper here. So in the United States, it's roughly $1,000 to $1,200 per month to take Ozempic. In Canada, it's only about $150 to about $225. So usually people can just afford it out of pocket. And again, it's also much easier if you have private insurance that covers medication costs.
Then,
where
wait,
they'll just cover
everything
it
that you're
because it's
saying,
not
all of that is making
expensive
it
to
sound like
begin
then
with.
it's not approved for weight loss.
What do you?
If you have
sorry?
to pay extra to get it, then it sounds like it's not.
Well, what are you? Medications aren't typically covered by the universal healthcare here. It's just it's just like seeing the actual doctor, getting the prescription, getting different treatments. So like X-rays.
Well, if your drugs aren't even covered, then it doesn't matter. It sounds like your doctor could prescribe basically anything. You just go to the pharmacy and buy it. No.
I'm saying most medications aren't. Very expensive medications for like, cancer that might cost like $1,000 a pill, that's covered. Most medications aren't covered though. So like if you have to get antibiotics, but again, it's such a small personal cost, it doesn't really matter. And you can get private insurance that covers just the cost of some of these medications, and it's much cheaper here because the actual amount of coverage they have to
I don't think you
is-
guys prescribe. I'm not sure if you guys do Ozempic for obesity. I don't think you do.
No, they absolutely do.
I'm looking at Canada.ca, and I see that your LANC receptor agonists are used to treat adult patients with type 2 diabetes. I don't see where they are prescribing these for obesity.
Yeah, that doesn't tell you whether or not doctors will prescribe that for obesity. It's
Yeah,
just
but it's
that
not approved for obesity. So it's an
Yeah, that
off-label
doesn't mean a
prescription.
doctor can't fucking prescribe it for you.
Okay, sure, but it's the same thing in the U.S. It's an off-label prescription.
Yeah, the problem is you can't get the fucking insurance company to cover it.
Well, hold on. Is that true that no insurance company in the United States will cover off-label prescriptions?
I'm not saying no insurance company is willing to cover it for obesity. I'm sure there are, but many of them won't.
You're just saying this out of nowhere. You have no proof or evidence or any idea whatsoever. You're just making this up.
You can... no, I'm not. You can go through the different healthcare providers, see if they will cover Ozempic for obesity specifically.
In
Many of them
Ontario,
won't.
your
And again,
Ozempic
it's because of
prescription
the cost
may
of
be
medication.
covered by the Ontario Drug Benefit Program, provided you're between 18 to 24, over 65, or meet other eligibility criteria. However, this is only if you're unable to tolerate metformin or if metformin doesn't adequately control your blood glucose levels. So it sounds like here, even for insurance in Ontario, they would only cover it for diabetes.
What, for weight loss?
Or I don't even know if they would help you pay for this in Canada for
Well,
weight
again,
loss.
it's not nearly as big of a fucking deal because it's cheaper here anyway. It's about 5 times cheaper.
Okay. So then what is the claim? What is your issue in the United States? Do you think that no insurance company covers Ozempic for weight loss?
That's not what I said. I literally just clarified this.
Okay, what is your claim? Can you
Most
restate it?
insurance companies, to my knowledge, I believe it is the majority, that will not cover Ozempic for weight loss because of the cost. And they lie saying it's not because of the cost. It's because we won't cover medications that don't have FDA approval, or cover the cost of a medication for a particular use that does not have FDA approval.
Why would that be a lie?
Which I
Why
believe
couldn't that
is
just be
actually
like
also...
Why couldn't that just be the answer?
Well, that's bullshit. There's a lot of medications that don't technically have FDA approval for a certain treatment, but they do have actual proven efficacy, and insurance companies have no trouble paying that.
Wait, so they pay for some, but they don't pay for others? Why?
Yeah. What do you mean why? Like, people have done the calculations. If
Link some.
if every obese person or morbidly obese person were to get a Ozempic prescription, it would literally bankrupt some of these healthcare providers.
Okay,
just
so
because of the
it's on
insane
the-
amount of cost and them having to be on it indefinitely.
If it would bankrupt them,
That's why there's this big push.
well, hold
by
on.
the
If it
way,
would bankrupt them, if it would bankrupt them, then it sounds like that's a good reason for them not to do off-label prescriptions for them, because they would go bankrupt. No.
Well, yeah, but they're lying about why they won't cover it.
Where does it? If it's, I don't understand why they wouldn't just cover it and raise premiums.
Well, that's
like you're narrativizing. You're like, there's no evidence for any of the claims. I can't even falsify your claims because they're not even falsifiable. You're just like saying random stuff. Like, you think that if everybody prescribed these, they would go bankrupt, and that's why they don't do it. Like, what is there any evidence for any of this?
Well,
ever?
I don't know if raising premiums would really make any sense because, like, practically everybody in the United States is either overweight or obese. Maybe you could, like, come up with some clinical diagnostic criteria for who would, qualify for Ozempic or any of these GLP-1 agonists for obesity. But if the majority of these healthcare providers would have to give a huge percentage of their patients, like, let's say like 30%, and cover Ozempic or any of these GLP-1 agonists, they'd probably end up losing money, even if they could raise premiums. Like, you can't get blood from a stone. So, yeah, they could raise premiums all they want, but if people can't pay it, you can't get blood from a stone. But what I'm demonstrating here is that, yeah, they will not cover certain medications and they'll come up with arbitrary reasons that are just based on cost cutting, and they'll lie about that. I just used Ozempic as that one example, and I would agree, if it would make them go bankrupt, that is a very practical reason for why they'd try to deny coverage.
Sure, just to be clear, you haven't demonstrated anything. You're just like telling a story with absolutely no evidence whatsoever. Like, I'm sure there are insurance companies that cover the. I don't even think Ozempic is what you would prescribe for weight loss. It's the other ones. But I'm sure there are insurance companies that cover some of these drugs.
Well, yeah, the other ones are more expensive, by the way. So tirzepatide is one of the new ones. I think it's actually significantly more expensive than Ozempic or Wegovy.
Okay. But if a drug is more expensive, I mean, that would be a reason potentially not to cover it, no? Like, if you're not paying for, like, the most expensive insurance, right? Like, companies in the United, like, people don't have infinite money, no?
So listen, when there's, say, a generic version of the medication, so let's say there's a very expensive, we could use tirzepatide. So let's say there's tirzepatide, which is the brand name. If in a few years it ends up becoming generic and the generic version is half the cost, then yeah, obviously an insurance company would prefer you to take the generic version, because it's literally the same medication for half the cost. That's totally reasonable. What I'm saying isn't reasonable is when healthcare providers will try denying treatments that are recommended by a doctor that are clearly necessary or highly, highly beneficial for a patient. I think necessary can be a funny word. So let's just say they're highly, highly beneficial. Chances are it would make the patient live longer, have a better quality of life. If they're denying on the basis of, well, we're going to lose money, fuck the benefit to the patient, I would say that's immoral.
Okay, so you think that in an ideal system, health insurance companies would be obligated to always authorize or always allow every single person who's insured to have access to the latest, like, cutting edge drugs for weight loss at all points, for every type of condition at all points in time, that you think that's a realistic financial model for anybody?
That's not what I'm saying. So, by the way, these GLP-1 agonists have been on the market for about 10 years. I think tirzepatide's a bit newer. That might be 2-3 years old now. But again, there's clear benefits to it.
So you're restating things that I'm asking you. Do you think it's reasonable that any company or healthcare system could afford to pay for every single person in the United States if these drugs are so expensive?
That's not what I'm claiming.
Okay, it sounded like your claim was you think that if you can prescribe a drug like this off-label, and if it can help somebody lose weight, that every health insurance company should have an obligation to always pay for that medication indefinitely.
Look, if there is some sort of conflict of interest here where, let's say, like, I don't know, let's say the...
Wait, I'm not talking about conflict of interest. I'm saying there wouldn't be enough money to pay for it all.
Well, okay. Well, let's say there's a clear benefit to a certain class of drugs. We could use GLP-1 agonists, for example. And insurance companies have done the math, and they've said, if we actually give, proper payouts for covering these drugs like we're supposed to.
No, they're not supposed to. That's not true, but go ahead.
Okay, well, let's say if we... that's also a contentious topic, but okay, let's just assume that. Let's assume that it would be the right thing to do, but they don't necessarily have to cover it under their policy. And if they've done the math, okay, if we cover these drugs, we're going to go bankrupt. At least be fucking honest about it and say we can't cover it because we're going to go bankrupt. Then maybe there would be, some sort of pressure politically to actually lower the cost of these medications.
How are you going to... First of all,
Firstly,
there's a ton of pressure to lower cost of medications already, number one. Number two, I mean, what would you even... I don't believe this argument. Nobody is saying that we're mad because health insurance companies are saying that we won't prescribe something that's off-label because it's off-label instead of just saying it's too expensive. I don't believe this. Nobody actually believes this. Nobody that complains about health insurance is complaining about this. Number one. Number two, what you're suggesting is not possible. You cannot have a healthcare system that works, and there isn't one in any part of the world, where every single person is entitled to the latest cutting-edge drug at all points in time, regardless of their ability to pay.
That's not what I'm arguing.
These are new.
This is a straw man.
No, it's not a straw man.
That is not what I'm arguing.
These are new
and
medications. These are new medications.
That is not what I'm arguing.
They cost a lot of money.
GLP-1 agonists have been around for 10 years, so they're not a brand new fucking medication.
Formulated for weight loss and not just used for diabetic treatment?
They've been used for weight loss for about 10 years now.
Off-label.
I don't care. Okay,
that's
just because
great.
Something doesn't have FDA approval for certain treatment, that doesn't mean it's not efficacious.
That's
like,
fine.
Just look at the data.
It's not
if you
about
live
data.
Longer,
hold on. I'm sorry, but
then
you're
what the
making
fuck does that
medically
matter?
inaccurate statements because you just don't know what it means for a drug to exist, okay? Drugs are not things that you take and they magically improve your life, okay? Every single drug you take probably induces some side effect, and the goal of a therapy is to say that at a given... Well, I have to explain this because you don't understand, okay? Because you think that, off-label, you think it's just good to take it. The whole point of prescribing a drug... I'm not going off topic, is that that over a long period of time...
Now you're talking about what drugs have, like, the risk to, like, benefit ratio.
You have to know that. You don't know what the... Because what is the risk-benefit ratio of prescribing a person without diabetes... Ozempic or semaglutide or whatever the fuck else drug, you don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, they might get a tummy ache. That's the risk-benefit
really?
ratio.
Do you want to bet? Do you want to bet $100 million, your entire fucking life's worth, that there won't be any other side effects discovered for these drugs in the past 20 years? And would you be willing to stake your entire country's health on the line for that?
For 10 years.
Been on the market for weight loss? No.
Yes, they've been on the market for 10 years, and they've been used for weight loss for about 10 years.
Okay.
So you can look at the side effects for these medications. The most common side effects are basically just a tummy ache.
You don't know the side effects if it's an off-label prescription for weight loss versus for somebody that's been taking...
Yes,
no, you don't. No, you don't.
Randomized trials.
No, you don't.
Yes,
no, you don't. You don't know.
There's randomized trials. Yes, you do.
There's wait. There's randomized trials
so
where
I guess
they...
we have
No,
no
wait.
idea about the side
Hold on.
effects.
You think there are randomized trials where they give the medication...
Of the Moderna COVID vaccine? Because it's not FDA approved. What does FDA approval have to do agree with knowing the side effects.
Do you think that there are randomized trials for a diabetes drug given to patients that don't have diabetes?
Yes, there are.
Okay.
Because there are weight loss trials.
That's you. You just. This is
some
just
of the patients may have diabetes, but they are used in weight loss trials, and not every obese person is diabetic.
Okay.
So again, most of the side effects for these drugs are basically just nausea, tummy ache. In some, they do cause gastric slowdown, so they can increase risk of constipation. One thing to note, though, is a side effect of eating less is also constipation. So if the drugs are blunting your appetite significantly enough, it may not actually be a direct effect of the medication. It's just the drugs are effective for blunting your appetite, and that's actually causing constipation. Very, very rarely, and I mean extraordinarily rarely, they can cause complete gastric stasis, where no stool is going through your intestines at all, and then that requires surgery. But I think that might have literally only happened in 4 patients. And there's a very, very small increased risk of pancreatitis and I think thyroid cancer. But again, the people who are taking these drugs in the first place who are overweight, they have increased risk of that to begin with. So you're talking about a 1% increased relative risk. So most of the side effects that people complain about, it has to do with nausea, stomach upset. Oh, good, Dr. Avi's here. Maybe he can better explain this. And, what was I going to say? Also, the dosing schedule has something to do with this.
Really?
So you can't get people to take injections on a near daily basis. A lot of people just don't want to do that. So I think they've designed these drugs with a certain half-life, so you only have to inject once per week. That might also have something to do with the nausea complaints. Because if you rapidly increase the amount of these GLP-1 agonists in your system, and you take a large dose once a week, those nausea symptoms are more likely than compared if you inject daily or near daily at smaller doses.
Sorry, I just joined. What do you guys have a disagreement? What do you disagree about?
I'm getting fucking triggered. He doesn't understand. He thinks that if a drug has been prescribed for one condition, that means that as long as it's safe for that particular condition, then all off-label prescriptions of that drug are necessarily safe as well. And that's what he's trying to explain to me.
Is that your accurate summarization of your view?
No.
All right. Well, it seems like you may be talking past each other. So why don't you try to explain what your disagreement is?
Let me summarize mine real quick, because it's going to take 12 hours, okay? This is my disagreement, okay? This spun off of multiple topics, but he was basically talking about how health insurance companies are immoral or wrong to deny coverage for an off-label prescription, which I don't think either of us even know if they do. That's just a statement that's made, okay? And I said that there might be good reasons not to cover for a broad population off-label prescriptions for a drug, that a particular doctor might maybe think that it might be good for a patient, but on a population level, I don't know if it would be good to start prescribing something off-label to a whole population. They said, well, studies show that off-label this is good, and I said, well, then does it have FDA approval yet? And he said, no, but that doesn't matter. And I said that on a broad population level, if you start prescribing a drug that maybe has a good safety profile for a particular condition, like type 2 diabetes, that doesn't mean that it has a good safety profile for just treating people who are obese.
So we're talking about GLP-1 agonists specifically, by the way.
Wait. Do both of you have the view that GLP-1 agonists are not FDA approved for obesity without diabetes?
Some of them are. I don't believe Ozempic is. I think it's a different one, but...
Ozempic is semaglutide. Semaglutide is approved for obesity without diabetes. It's just a different name than Ozempic.
Sure, yeah. There are some that are approved, I think, that literally have FDA approval for obesity in the United States, yes.
It's basically Ozempic with a slightly different dosage.
Okay.
And then, so another one is tirzepatide. That's also approved. It's called Mounjaro is the one for diabetes. And the same drug is approved for obesity without diabetes. It's just they changed the generic name. It's called Zepbound. But the same medications are FDA approved for obesity without diabetes, and there are trials. I think the longest Ozempic. When I say Ozempic is just to clarify, Ozempic is the generic name for a drug called semaglutide. When you get an approval for a given indication, there's commonly a generic name for that indication.
Sure. Yeah.
Sometimes
I don't think, just real quick, I don't think this wasn't the point of contention. The point of contention had to do with whether or not a drug that has been prescribed off-label for a while should automatically just be given FDA approval or be assumed to be safe because some people have used it like off-label or whatever. And my contention is that you still have to trial that drug for that particular condition to find out if that drug is good to be prescribed for that particular condition. You can't just assume because it's been prescribed off-label for something else that it automatically is safe for, infinite people for prescriptions or whatever.
That's not what I said. I said if there's adequate research proving efficacy, then it should be prescribed. Whether or not it has
You're begging the
FDA
question.
approval.
Adequate research proving efficacy, I would say that means it should have FDA approval then. But if it doesn't have FDA approval, clearly it hasn't gone through that process. Or it's in the process of going through that process.
Right. So the Pfizer and Moderna vaccine had proven efficacy, but didn't get FDA approval for quite a while.
So they had emergency use authorization. No, it's not by that definition because we're not talking about off-label, number one. Number two, they were emergency use authorizations in response to an emergency. So it's not comparable to this as well. So no.
Well, you just claimed if it doesn't have FDA approval, then it doesn't have efficacy.
I didn't claim if it didn't have FDA approval, it didn't have efficacy. I said that FDA approval means something, and just because something has been safe off-label for people doesn't mean that it should automatically be considered safe and can be prescribed as an FDA-approved drug. There might be other issues that are lurking or hiding that when prescribed en masse to people that don't have diabetes that could pop up when you do your trialing for it.
Okay, well, by the way, the beginning of this whole debate conversation was about whether or not health insurance providers arbitrarily
before we do that, Avi, can you tell me if I'm right or wrong on that? That just if something has been prescribed off-label and seems to be safe because off-label, it should still get trials specifically for treating the condition.
Yeah, obviously.
That it's been, no, stop. You didn't agree with that. Avi, can you just tell me if that's true for my own brain? No, you said, Vegan, you said that there was an adequate amount of research, so therefore everybody should be getting prescribed this. That's what you said, right?
So just the contention here is that just because something has FDA or doesn't have FDA approval does not mean it does not have efficacy for a certain treatment.
That doesn't even make, hold on. Wait, my position would be that if something isn't FDA approved, that it can't be efficacious for treatment. You realize every single drug in existence was at one point in time not FDA approved. That doesn't even make any sense. Your claim was that if it's been off-label prescribed for a long time, it's basically safe that everybody should be off-label prescribing it. That was your claim, or is that not your claim?
No.
Okay, well, in that case, then we have no disagreement, and this was all... Okay, what? Adequate research. What does that mean?
There's adequate research proving that it has efficacy for a certain type of treatment.
You're using so many loaded words. You're using so many loaded words.
And doctors should be able to prescribe it for such treatment.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad you guys agree.
No. Okay, what else? Are we good? Are we done? Is that everything?
Well, no. The fundamental issue with this debate was whether or not health insurance providers arbitrarily deny claims to cut costs.
I think that the original claim was whether or not the majority of denials were because they were arbitrarily denying claims just to cut costs and save money.
Yeah, I don't know if the majority are. That could be the case with certain providers.
Hold on, wait. Then we have no disagreement, and we completely agree on this. Is there any other topics then? Because if you're going to walk this all the way back to maybe 1% of claims are cut arbitrarily, then we don't even have a disagreement.
I never said 1%.
Then what is the estimated percentage? Because before you made it sound like there was a huge percentage of these, like over 50%. There's a huge percentage of these that were being denied arbitrarily.
Oh my God. Okay, can you just stop assuming what I'm saying and just let me fucking talk?
Okay, so, I'm pretty sure you said most or majority before, but okay.
Oh, okay. Well, how about you let me talk rather than being pretty sure? Okay, so it may depend on the health insurance company. Some have a lower denial of claims. I think some go to around 5% denial. Some go well past 30%. Now, when you have an outlier like United Healthcare, where they deny over 30% of claims, where I think the industry average is around 15%, that may suggest that, yes, certain providers are denying a very significant proportion of claims for completely arbitrary reasons. I also don't know what we mean necessarily by claim denial, because health insurance companies also give you a runaround. They'll ask you to get a second opinion, or a third opinion, or a fourth opinion, and then go see some other specialist. And they'll try to run out your time so that you just give up and then don't bother proceeding with seeking treatment. So I don't know exactly how we're defining claim denial, but again, maybe Avi could, since he's a doctor, could give his perspective on that.
I'm still not understanding what do you want me to give my perspective on claim denials?
Yeah. Like
he said, the central disagreement here was whether or not it was reasonable to just assume that if a company denies more claims than another company, they must be for arbitrary reasons. And I said, there could be other reasons why they might deny claims rather than just arbitrary cost-cutting measures. We would have to investigate that. So it'd be good to have like at least one cursory glance at why claims are even denied, rather than to just assume that if one person's denials are higher than the other, it's because they're evil and denying claims arbitrarily.
Yeah, and that should be done across different insurance companies, obviously. And I haven't done a deep dive into the different rates and what they were adjusted for. I've seen that graph with United Healthcare and the other insurance companies listed, like UHC being put at 32%, industry average being put at 16%.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure what caveats went into that. I'm not sure what adjustments went into that, and I'm not sure if I don't think appeals were taken into account, and I'm not sure from what I've read thus far in my preliminary investigation. I don't think that's been verified. I'd have to look into that more to see if I stand by those figures. As of now, I don't.
Sure. And even on that same meme graph that gets passed around Reddit, the very bottom was Kaiser at like 6%. But I don't have first-hand experience with Kaiser, but from what I read people saying, I don't know if it's true or not, but people were saying that Kaiser is like a very strict, like in-network, like they have like the insurer, the pharmaceutical element, or like where you get your drugs from, like the doctor and hospital, like all of it is like crazy tightly in the same thing. So like the approval rates are incredibly high, but like it's because you're in their system the entire time from start to finish. So like the benefit is that it's all probably going to work, but then you might be a lot more restrictive on like coverage and where you can go to the hospital at as a result of that. So there's like pros and cons to everything potentially. Vertical integration.
You want to make sure your data gathering process on the claims being denied are standardized. So like it's a similar type of claim for a similar indication for a similar patient population, and there's ways of doing that. But I doubt that whoever made that graph has done that type of robust data. But I could be wrong. Yeah. So you guys agree on everything then?
No, we don't, because he thinks
really.
It's reasonable to assume that any extra denial percentage like that we can just assume that it's being done for arbitrary or malicious reasons.
Well, I think there certainly are.
Well, you say that with no evidence and no data. You have no idea, though.
Yeah, I'm pretty damn sure there are a lot of claims that are being denied for arbitrary reasons.
Based on what?
Measures. Well, based on testimony that I've heard from a lot of people who've been going through the private healthcare system.
Hold on, would you accept that standard of evidence in any other argument? I've heard people say this. How many hundreds of millions of people are covered by healthcare? You can probably find stories, like tens of thousands of stories, saying good or bad things about both sides up and down the entire system.
Well, I see a lot more bad stories than good stories.
Right, but you understand though that you seeing more bad stories than good stories. That's a kind of anecdote that you generally. Yeah. But like you wouldn't make a strong position based on that, right?
No, not necessarily the strongest, but just gut feeling from the amount of horseshit I see. Yeah.
No, hold on.
Seems to be the
You're
case.
using a gut feeling to say that it's justified to murder a CEO? Really?
Yeah, I mean, the guy's not even vegan to begin with, so who cares?
Wait, that's a whole different thing. Wait.
Yeah, I know.
But so I'm just trying to understand. So, I mean, we agree that anecdote is a very poor standard of evidence to make strong conclusions on, surely. Yeah, okay. When we're extrapolating to things that we usually would rely on more robust data for. which is a lot of things. So, okay, so, and then what conclusion are you, like, what's your position here, and that you're drawing this anecdote on, and what's the strength that you're concluding it with?
Well, again, the debate was whether or not it was justified to kill the United Healthcare CEO.
Oh, that's a whole different discussion. Okay, I didn't know that was the topic.
Well, that was the topic,
what's
but
your
then it
take
was
on
based on like whether or not, like eventually, obviously, you get to appeals or denials, which is what everybody gets mad about. And the assumption I think that people are making, even though they don't say it, although when I ask, it seems like they are forthcoming with it. The assumption is that every single denial, or at least a majority of them that are made by insurance companies, are just done arbitrarily and maliciously, just to like for people to die, LOL, and to make money. And so that's the foundation that people use to justify the fact that you could basically kill your entire executive board or whatever of any given company because they're just like literally sentencing people to die for no reason other than profits. Although for some reason hospitals never get held accountable for this, which is very curious. But it's only the insurance companies, even though it's the hospital that is literally the provider of care and is choosing not to treat you because you can't afford it. But whatever.
Well, again, there's other arguments too. The fact that they make so money off insurance is also like it's kind of ridiculous how much these like CEOs, board of directors, the amount of like weird bureaucratic and corporate costs they have, the way they spend their money, where they rent out these huge fucking office buildings. The advertisements they pay for, like the amount of money that they're making and wasting on ridiculous shit and passing those costs on to the consumers. That's also
so. This is just another feeling with absolutely no evidence and nothing. This is just like a feeling that we have. That
well, insurance costs are fucking ridiculous. It's highway robbery. And
insurance costs are ridiculous. Wait. Do you think that hospital costs are ridiculous? Do you think that drug costs are ridiculous?
Yeah, they end up being ridiculous because of the private healthcare system.
Okay, so then where should costs be cut from?
Well, again, if it was a single-payer system, that would massively reduce cost.
Yeah, but it would also probably mean that hospitals make less money, doctors make less money, administrators make less money, right? That you wouldn't have access to the latest drugs all the time.
Well, look at every country that has adopted a socialized healthcare system. I don't see too many doctors complaining about, not being able to afford their rent.
You literally, that's like one of the dumbest possible things that you could say. You don't think that, I'm sorry, Abby can do this. I don't know. Never mind. You tell me. I might be out of touch. I don't know. I was under the impression that medical staff in other countries, I'm over selecting for the UK here, but they complain a lot about the amount of money that they make. But I don't know. Maybe I'm fucking retarded.
I do have to say though, being against, I would never want to work in another country like as a doctor. Not because I'm afraid of paying my rent. Look, I'd probably be able to make rent, but my compensation wouldn't even be close to what I'm making now. But that's even look, there's going to be there's advantages and disadvantages of single payer. You mentioned some advantages. There are disadvantages. Like single payer healthcare systems, they have longer wait times. They have less availability of certain interventions, medications, and patients. I mean, we have a more expensive healthcare system. There's no denying it. We do have certain advantages because of that, and we have certain disadvantages. We also subsidize R&D because we don't have the type of drug negotiation for pricing that other countries do. If we went single payer, there would be also a lot less R&D incentivization for risk taking among insurers. Among pharmaceutical companies, because the whole bunch of the return on the investment of pharmaceutical companies is United States. It's like, oh well, once we get approval, we get to sell to the United States, and they're not going to negotiate prices like these other countries. So that's where we recap our profits. Then what will happen is either R&D is going to go down, and you just won't have that type of innovation, or the other countries are just going to have to pay more, their share. So, I mean, look, I'm not sticking out a position on, what policy is best until all that's done. I haven't done a deep dive on every single advantage or disadvantage, but there clearly are disadvantages of single payer.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it would be better to have like a public option or something.
Times, by the way.
Sorry, I didn't. What?
I think I would disagree with the wait time argument. I think the main disadvantage is just compensation for doctors and maybe some other staff.
You don't think there's a wait time difference?
So it depends on how you're calculating wait time. So with a private system, you may not be able to have coverage for hospitals that are outside your network. So that influences wait time, obviously. There's also an effect on like whether or not patients will actually bother seeking out care. So when you account for people who are both insured and uninsured, especially when people are uninsured, they will wait as long as possible to actually go see a doctor because they're worried about healthcare costs. So it kind of depends on how you...
Wait. So just so we're clear, are you saying that if we were to, say, compare Canada to the United States for seeing a specialist, are you saying that are you saying you have evidence that adjusting for all of these things, the wait times are comparable between the United States and Canada?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can't remember where I saw this, but I think when you factor that in, both insured and uninsured, and patient behavior, wait times end up being comparable.
Okay, so I'd love to see that because the Canada.
Yeah, I'll try to look for that.
And that what that would mean is that because Canada's like what 27.7 weeks or something to see a specialist. US is, I think, less than
I will say that you're wrong on that. 27.7 weeks. That was the data for 2023. This year it's 30 weeks. So big
okay.
move.
Okay, I just got on. So there you go. Okay, so yeah, but so what you're saying is that basically what's happening in Canada is that what's basically the Canadians are just saying, oh, I need to see a specialist. Let me just wait on that, and that's why the wait time is higher. Like, I'm not. Or then
no,
what are you saying?
So in Canada, if you have to see a specialist, it's based on like a priority thing. So depending on the condition. So if it's cancer, you'll be pushed to the like top of the list. If it's something more minor, that can wait. So like, I don't know, treatment of like
But we're talking about overall. Like, okay.
Yeah, I know.
What accounts for the overall discrepancy?
Sorry?
What accounts for the overall discrepancy?
Well, what I'm saying is it kind of depends on how you're doing data collection, because if you're only looking at insured individuals in the United States, and you're seeing, I don't know, whatever the average wait time is.
Wait, what percentage of Americans do you think have health insurance?
Yeah, it would be the majority.
What do you think? I'm just curious what you think that number is.
I don't know.
Okay, it's like 92%.
92%.
Yeah, okay. So when you only look at insured individuals, and I don't know if you're looking at every insurance company, on top of that, like, if you have a situation too where you can only get insurance from healthcare providers or hospitals within your network, and you wait, like say you're out of state and there's no hospitals around your area that are in your network, and then you wait until you get back to your state, like that would also technically be a wait time. So it kind of depends on how you're actually calculating this.
I'm pretty sure when they calculate wait times in countries, they calculate the time from like when you make like if you go to a general practitioner, when they do specialists, it's after you need an appointment, like how far in the future that appointment is scheduled. I'm pretty sure that's how they do.
Right. It's not like, oh, well,
Sure.
Yeah. So I'd like to see this data. Like what, so just so to be clear, what type of data are you saying you have? Are you saying, I just want to be clear, like, do you have data that basically suggests that all like things considered equal, there's a comparable wait time difference?
Yeah, there might be.
Wait, no, not that there might be. Like, are you saying? Do you have that position? Are you saying yes? I've seen data that adjusting for the relevant factor.
No, I don't have that hard position. I'd have to look into it, and it would also depend on the type of illness you're talking about as well.
But it's okay to kill healthcare CEOs.
Yeah, maybe. Kind of depends. I don't know exactly what, like, why they're denying claims and shit like that.
Okay, I feel like that's a good thing to know.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, it wouldn't matter anyway because the guy's not vegan.
Do you
If
actually
the
know
guy
that?
was
Wait,
vegan,
do you know that
then
he's not
that would
vegan?
change things. I'd do more research.
What, do you know that he's not vegan?
I mean, look at the guy.
How do you know? How do you know? How do you look at him and know that he's not vegan?
Well, he was wearing leather shoes when he got shot.
Oh, how do you know it wasn't faux leather? It was authentic leather?
Yeah, the chances are that guy was wearing fucking leather shoes. You're talking about a fucking, millionaire CEO, nice suit and all that shit. Like, no way.
What if he's not a vegan? What if he's a freegan? What if he found the leather shoes somewhere?
If he found them, like, in a dumpster or something, then I'd give him a pass.
I don't think this is motivating you to come on here and say it's okay to kill him. I mean, you may have that position, but I get the suspicion that, I mean, you don't just go around saying like, hey, this person, he deserved to die because, he wasn't vegan. I mean, you may have that view, but I suspect like something's getting to you that's more than that, over and above him not being vegan, that you're...
Yeah, well, I'll definitely say I have a massive bias against insurance companies just in general. I think they're all fucking scammers.
Is there like a personal backstory to this? You don't have to give any details if you don't want to. I'm just curious.
Well, he's Canadian. What do you mean?
I've never had to deal with healthcare, like private healthcare, and I've been pretty happy with the socialized care in Ontario. But it's just like vehicle insurance. I think they have fucked me over with costs, like absolute bullshit, especially when I first got my license. But even still, the rates I'm paying are just fucking ridiculous. And just talking with friends that are paying for private healthcare in the US too, even when they haven't had to make too many major claims, like it's just, the costs are so ridiculously enormous.
Compared to the taxes that you pay in Canada for healthcare?
We pay less in taxes than you would pay for just privately through insurance.
What insurance plans are your friends on?
I'm not sure, but I know a few people who are paying around $500 a month.
Are they like regularly getting prescriptions and stuff?
Some of them are, some of them aren't.
So my understanding is that it's like the personal interaction you've had with insurance companies that's generating a lot of this, and that's like the additional motivation for this these feelings toward this insurance company CEO.
Yeah, kind of. Like, look, I was looking at insurance costs for like some hypersport bikes. Like, even if you wanted to, so they'll just arbitrarily charge you more if you want to cover a Yamaha. Doesn't even matter if it's like a super sport or hypersport or anything. We're not even talking about an R1. They will automatically charge you more just because it's a fucking Yamaha. Like, it's fucking retarded. I was paying $10,000 to insure 2 motorcycles when I first got my fucking license. Like, that is fucking retarded. Suck my dick, dude.
Oh, wait, were you paying insurance for like full coverage, comprehensive, like wheel to wheel?
It was full comprehensive without theft.
Okay, so, and are these new bikes?
Yeah.
Well, then of course you're going to be paying. Yeah, what do you mean? Of course you're going to be paying a lot of insurance. You're literally insuring. You said 2 brand new vehicles on a vehicle that I'm guessing has like decently.
Well, they weren't that expensive. They were like $10,000 each.
Okay.
Like I'm literally paying half the cost of the bike for just 1 year. That was ridiculous.
Why do you think the
now
insurance
that I
rates are
have my
higher
full
on
license,
bikes? Why do you think the
like,
insurance
rates are lower, but they're still too high?
Why do you think the insurance rates are what they are?
Well, again, they try to charge as much as they fucking can to make as much profit as possible.
Wait, but then why do you think,
I
why
haven't
not
even
go to a different insurance company that charges less?
I haven't been able to find any that are actually charging less.
Well, if they all charge that much, maybe it's because that's how much it costs on average to insure.
Yeah, or maybe they know what every other insurance company is charging, and they're all kind of working together to charge as much as fucking possible to fuck everybody over and get as much money as possible. That's basically what's happening with the fucking housing market.
Okay.
You do agree, though, that these, I don't know the details of your motorcycles, but you do agree that that really isn't a good reason to kill an insurance company CEO for in a completely different sector, though, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not the one who killed the guy.
Well, but you are the one who's saying it was the right thing to do, and
yeah,
right. So, do you agree that your experience with the motor vehicle insurance company isn't really a reason to?
Well, it's all insurance.
Well, no. I mean, there's different insurance. Okay, look, you having a bad experience with, like, let's say you had a waiter serve you bad food, and you said, okay, well, I want to kill this waiter. It's a good thing the waiter died. Does that mean like it's all waiters? Like it's all like, well, everyone in this, and beyond that, it's even in different types of services. Like even if it's not food being served, it's like just service industry in general. It's like, well, it's all service industry. I had a bad experience with this server, so just kill the servers.
I see that as a bit disanalogous.
How is it disanalogous? It's a different sector. I mean, it's insurance in a different field. Like why is it that if you had a bad experience in a motor vehicle insurance company, even if you were right and they were wrong, why is that a reason to go to a different sector with no other information and say, okay, well, that's a reason to kill people there?
Well, again, I would imagine they operate on a very similar kind of basis. Like they are both insurance companies.
I understand they're both insurance companies. When you say they operate on a very similar basis, you're essentially saying that the reason the bad thing that this one is doing is probably also being done in another one. But have you looked into whether that is the case? Have you looked into whether they operate similarly? Have you looked into any of the differences between insurance companies in different sectors?
Okay, well, here's the thing. I will admit, over the course of this discussion, I have reconsidered my position, and I do think more research has to be done as to whether or not it was justified to kill the guy, on the basis of him being the CEO of United Healthcare alone. I still think it's probably a good thing he died, though, because he wasn't vegan.
Yeah, and other things. All right. Other things to look into, like just like the CEO of an insurance company isn't necessarily the person making the rejections, or necessarily even like the person setting the policy to do rejections. There might be people under that CEO doing it.
Well, if he's the CEO, the buck stops with him fundamentally.
Well, I mean, that's a different discussion. So, also, insurance companies, I have to look at the margin. I'm not sure what margins United Healthcare was operating on. Just a more general point. Healthcare overall, it's not just U.S. doctors. Like one thing that you said was that, well, the main disadvantage is the salary of U.S. doctors. What do you think is the percentage of the earnings of doctors of the U.S. healthcare spending in the United States? What do you think that would be?
I'd imagine it's pretty low. When you're talking about just financial, like just salary or financial compensation of workers themselves.
Well, if that's, well, wait a minute. But then how is the only disadvantage of single payer lower salaries? Because you're saying all this money could be saved. It's got to come from somewhere other than the salaries if it's so low.
They're too
Also low.
high, Avi.
Yeah,
The reason why
it's
I'm backing health
reduction of,
insurance
drug and
companies, I back them
treatment
because we're
costs.
coming after your wages, Avi. All you doctors, okay? You've been eating too much, all right? You've been getting too fat. Profiting off of sick Americans, and that's why I support all the health insurance companies are coming after your wages, motherfucker, okay?
Is it going to be okay to kill me like Luigi did? Are you going to send Mario?
Not
at
kill
me?
you, but you are going to see significant reductions in your wages right after they put an exit tax up on all physicians too, so you can't leave the country either, okay? We're going to plan for that.
So yeah,
what is
just
the total? I would guess the total compensation is probably what, like 5 to 6% or something. What is it?
yeah, I think it's like somewhere around there. It's like 8% or something. Basically, if all U.S. doctors worked for free, the cost of healthcare in the United States would be largely unchanged. It's healthcare in general just costs more in just about every facet of it.
I think this is the thing that I get the most irritated about in this conversation is that, also to be clear, now that it fucking matters, I think I am a proponent of at least a single payer, or not single payer, public option, if not doing a single payer thing, because I think that you can save probably on administrative costs, because obviously if it's a unified federal system, you've already got like Social Security and other people that collect data and information, and they can already administer Medicare, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. However, Americans, the biggest problem that Americans have is they're fucking spoiled. And Americans think that they can have the exact same quality or better of healthcare right now at an insanely reduced cost with 100% access. And to an American citizen, it is kryptonite to tell them, hey, listen, if you want this to work, it's going to be a little bit worse, and you're going to have to accept that. Yeah, that's it. Like every American thinks that they can have single payer that gets them the latest access to all the latest drugs and the latest treatments at whatever appointment time slot that they want ever, and it's very fucking annoying. And like you said, I think the issue with American healthcare is that all of it is expensive. The hospitals are expensive, the equipment is expensive, the pharmaceuticals are expensive, our doctors are expensive. Like every single part of what we do costs a lot of money. All of it does.
Well, wait. I think there's two huge issues when it comes to convincing Americans to adopt a social healthcare system like Canada or France or you name it. One issue is people are massively gaslit on like how bad socialized healthcare is. Like they're fed like, oh, you won't even be able to see a specialist in like years or something.
Yeah, I agree. People do overhype that up, but people are also gaslit on how bad American healthcare is. Most people, nobody wants to hear this, but you can go look at all the polling data. Most people in the United States are actually happy with their health insurance, and they're happy with their healthcare coverage. Most people are. Over 50% are. Most people get insurance through their work, and most people are happy with the insurance they get through their work. That's just a fact. But every single person on the internet thinks that like 98% of Americans fucking hate their health coverage. That's just not true. That's a Reddit opinion and a Twitter opinion. There's no data to back that up.
When you do this sort of polling data, they also don't know any better. Like I mean, that's the only experience that a lot of these people have is insurance through their work or something. And when you look at like how bad it can get, so like people are literally saying, no, don't call an ambulance because it'll cost them like $5,000. When in Canada, if you have to call an ambulance, they'll literally send you a bill for like $20 or $50. I had to call an ambulance a couple of years ago when I tore my adductor longus. I couldn't walk. Couldn't even get to the car. Ambulance workers had to scoop me up off the floor and put me on one of those stretcher wheel things to get me to the hospital. I only had to pay $50 for that. But then like Americans are paying $5,000 for like a fucking ambulance.
So $5,000 would be an extremely expensive ambulance ride. I think the average is under $1,000. It's still expensive. It is more expensive, sure.
Okay, dude, that's still a huge difference. But yeah, I mean, so they don't have an experience
no coverage.
with
That's assuming no coverage as well. So I mean,
right, but point being, they don't have an experience with a socialized healthcare system, and they're massively gaslit on how many downsides there are and aren't aware of the benefits. And on top of that, there's like this kind of dad logic thing where why should I pay for somebody else's healthcare? Everybody should just pay for their own, when ultimately it would reduce their own costs anyway. But it's just dad logic. I don't care if I have to pay less. If I'm paying for somebody else's healthcare through my taxes, that's bullshit. I should only have to pay for myself. I don't even care if it's more expensive personally, but everybody should pay for their own. Like, it's dad logic bullshit. And there's also this issue where everybody thinks they're like a temporarily embarrassed billionaire, where, oh, but what if I get rich? Then I'd have to pay more in taxes to cover other people. Like, I think that's fundamentally the issue of convincing Americans to get socialized healthcare. They're just gaslit on the downsides when I think there's mostly upsides, at least for most individuals, and just dad logic.
I mean, we could say that, but America funds most of the.
Chat. What's up, Willie Mac?
America funds most of the like R&D when it comes to pharmaceuticals. Like America is like a world leader still in creating new drugs, and a lot of that, like Abby said, unfortunately, I would say, we do need to charge these Euro cucks more for our fucking drugs. Okay, a lot of that is based on the fact that you get access to the U.S. market after you develop a new drug. You're guaranteed access. You have a patent for some period of time, and you can charge American healthcare providers a fuck ton of money to prescribe these drugs to patients.
Isn't a lot of the research for that technically socially funded, though?
No, that's bullshit. There is a lot of general research that's done, but like bringing a drug to market is where your average cost is like $1 billion per pharmaceutical product, and that is not publicly funded.
There would be ways of reducing that cost, though, because don't they have to go through like stupid animal testing and shit, and they just recently removed that requirement?
Very, very small proportion of the cost. Most of the cost to bringing a drug to market is from the randomized controlled trials in humans.
Probably your phase 2 and phase 3 bullshit or whatever, I would imagine.
Phase 3 is a massive endeavor. Yeah, that's...
What if we got like anybody who's being convicted of, I don't know, pedophilia, and just force them to go through these trials? Would that reduce the cost?
How do we...
Well, aren't you worried that the results might not extrapolate to non-pedophiles?
No, I think they would probably extrapolate.
What if one of the side effects of the drug is that it makes you want to fuck kids? And now that we've tested it on a bunch of pedophiles, we were never able to see that side effect. And now you have a population of kid fuckers because they're taking medication for it.
But wouldn't it make them like more attracted to kids?
Are you going to control for that in your experimentation?
Only into 10-year-olds, but now they're into 5-year-olds or something?
Well,
how many pedophiles do you think you could round up to do this? And
a lot. Oh, I'm sure there's a fucking lot, dude. They're everywhere.
You know, there's like trials that have like 50,000 participants in each arm.
Yeah, I can guarantee you can find enough pedophiles to.
You know, there's like
trials.
You know, there's like thousands of trials concurrently running.
Well, we might have to get some pedophiles from like China or something, but I'm sure we could do it.
So we're gonna go into China, and then go door to door and extract pedophiles from China and bring them to the United States.
Why don't we just go to Israel? I thought that's where all the pedophiles retreat to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, you've made me reconsider my position on the topic, so I appreciate that. That's one of the reasons why I do these debates. So yeah, my current position on the United Healthcare CEO is, I do not know if the killing was justified based on the preponderance of evidence. So I would say it would probably be an immoral action to kill him due to the lack of knowledge.
Wow, cool. All right.
On whether or not his healthcare company was doing something ethically alone, but since he's not vegan, good riddance.
Based.
All right. Well, good chat, guys.
How do you not have any opinions on this?
On what?
You Dr. Fucker.
Opinion? What opinions on what? I thought I was giving my opinions.
On insurance. This guy Don't let these doctors fucking fool you, okay? Okay, they are not here for the patients; they're here for themselves. Okay, that's why he doesn't have shit to say. This he's being quiet because he's like, yeah, these insurance companies are fucking evil. Meanwhile, this guy probably has like a no Medicare, no Medicaid policy. This guy has never accepted public insurance in his life. Okay, I know. I'm on to you, Dr. Abbey. We know what you're up to.
No, we gotta.
He is Jewish after all.
I know. Yeah, gotta. Well, no, I mean, my view on the. I mean, I don't. I take the view that killing was justified. I don't think that there's a case to be made there. At least from what I've seen, I don't think there's any. I mean, I haven't seen any good evidence that he's been engaged in the type of malfeasance that I would say.
Do you say publicly if you work for like a hospital or if you're part of like a smaller clinic or private practice or whatever?
I work for a hospital. I currently work for a hospital.
When you're doing like prescriptions and dealing with insurance or whatever, is that like the hospital deals with all that shit, or do you have to deal with that like firsthand?
I've dealt. So it's been a combination. I've dealt with that firsthand a lot, and in some cases, I've been fortunate enough to have certain administrative staff that have dealt with that. Almost every doctor I know of, at least in the comparable field, has at some point dealt with prior authorizations and put in extra administrative time on their own as a provider to deal with prior authorizations.
Do you do you have a stance on like whether or not it's easier or harder to deal with like Medicare, Medicaid, and if the reimbursement rates, is that something? I don't want to load the question too much. Yeah, do you have opinions on that?
In terms of getting a certain medication approved?
Yeah, I guess, yeah. Or actually, you're not biased, I guess. So one of the complaints that I hear is that like some doctors will say that the only way that they can accept Medicare or Medicaid because the reimbursement rates are so low is that those patients are kind of in a way subsidized for by private insurance payers, and that they'll take the other patients because it just expands their base or whatever. And then I've heard some people say it could be more annoying, and I've heard some people say it's less annoying to deal with government insurance. I don't know what the reality is there. I'm just curious what your experience is.
I imagine it varies depending on what your field is. So what I will say is that there are certain Medicare, Medicaid programs that you will have a harder time getting approval for certain medications on, other than compared to private insurance on average. And there are certain plans in particular that have been pretty brutal. On average, I generally take the view that compensation is probably going to be lower on Medicare, Medicaid compared to private insurers. There are some characteristics that that may be easier. For example, if your patient clientele is more Medicare, Medicaid, if you know things are more standardized, you already know what is covered, what's not covered. You already know what the procedures are, and in that way, you might have a more efficient system than if you're dealing with a whole bunch of different private insurance companies with different rules. So it depends, but overall, there probably is a general trend of things are a little bit somewhat more annoying, but not to the point where I would say like, okay, I'm not taking Medicare, Medicaid patients or anything like that.
Sure. When you're prescribing drugs to patients, are you ever thinking about cost of the drug? Do you think it would be even ethical to do so? And I'm not necessarily just saying like a generic versus a brand name, but even like all my experiences in ADHD, but even like prescribing like methylphenidates versus like amphetamines because you think that on average like the methylphenidates might be cheaper even if they're maybe not as effective. Like, do you think about these things at all, or are you generally always like prescribing the best thing, or what? Like, what do you? Yeah, and what do you think is ethical? And so far as this goes, yeah.
Yeah. So here's what I do and here's what I don't do. So what I don't do is I don't say, okay, well, here's the cost of the medication to society or to the insurance or to the to the taxpayer, and so for that reason, I'm not going to prescribe that patient this medication. That's something I don't do. I do think about the cost of the medication insofar as, well, if the patient is going to have to pay a percentage of that medication, or if the patient's not going to get covered and will have to pay for that out of pocket, then cost plays a big factor. I'm like, okay, well, ultimately the patient needs to get treated. Yeah. And if there are two options on the table, one is cheaper and one is more expensive, and I know that the patient is not getting covered, or even if they get covered, they're sub-covered, then of course it's a factor. And a suboptimal treatment that the patient is actually going to be able to take is going to be a superior option than a more optimal treatment that the patient's probably just going to say, okay, if this bill is ridiculous, fuck this. So in that sense, I will think about cost. But if you're asking if you're asking me if there's situations where I'm like, okay, this is the best treatment for the patient. However, I could give the patient a suboptimal therapy, and it wouldn't cost that patient, it wouldn't save that patient any money, but it would cost the healthcare society less.
Sure.
Do I do that? The answer is no, I do not.
Okay. Do you? So I've been emailed this by physicians and nurses, but I don't know how true it is actually. But nobody's corrected me on it. Do you think that on average, do you think that Americans tend to get prescribed to them, or the doctors tend to prescribe, or that Americans pursue generally more like expensive or like kind of, I'm saying like cutting edge, but I just mean like latest medication treatment as opposed to people in other countries around the world, say like European patients, that like an American patient is more likely to get prescribed to them like a medication that might be 10% more effective, but like 2,000% more expensive. Do you think on a trend that might be true, or do you not know, or do you have any, yeah?
I have a suspicion there might be some of that happening.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind that, so it depends on what type of practice you're looking at. So there's going to be a lot of private practitioners that are basically not in academics, and they're just probably going to prescribe the cheaper options that they're familiar with regardless. But in academic centers, it's true that there's a little bit of a tendency to prescribe the more latest medications and trying to min-max things, even if it's more expensive. However, also keep in mind that those are the same very centers that are self-selected to receive the sickest patients, the patients that have failed the previous medications, that have failed the cheaper options in the first place. And that, look, that is part of the thing we also do pay for to the degree that that's happening. Healthcare is more expensive, but you should see patients when they failed the cheaper options, and we're saying, okay, well, sorry, we're not going to get you this new latest cutting edge medication because we've decided that for society's purposes, that's just not going to be an option. We can negotiate it with the insurance company to pay at these prices, so that's just not approved in our country. Sorry, that it's a very hard sell for patients to take our healthcare system and go in that direction.
Uh-huh.
Especially for that type of patient population. Because look, I mean, yeah, they're expensive for like we talked about, for those R&D subsidizations, but these are the patients who were like, hey, listen, I live in a first world country. I live in America. If I fail these medications, I need a medication that'll work. Uh-huh. And it is for those patients, it is a benefit to be able to give them those medications. And there are examples of them where, the other ones don't work that other countries are relying on, and the ones we have that are latest and cutting edge, guess what? They fucking work. The sad thing is that a lot of these European countries are basically just approving those medications before we are in some cases, because we basically foot the bill. We're basically saying, okay, well, it's a ridiculous amount of money that we're paying for, but hey, you guys are paying for it. All we have to do is just approve it. We could just negotiate down to $100 for Ozempic. You're paying $900 or $1,000, uh-huh. And you brunted all of the risk incentive to that R&D, and so you're subsidizing. So we subsidize the European countries' healthcare indirectly to a pretty strong degree. So I don't even know if. So yes, the answer to your question ultimately is yes. There is a tendency for us to do that and to get the more expensive medications compared to European countries. But the thing you have to keep in mind is that the European countries are not doing that as much because those same medications are so much cheaper because we're footing their bill.
Thanks, America.
Okay. All right. Just curious. All right. Well, any final thoughts or?
No, I think this was just a good discussion.
All right. Well, hey, I love you both. Be careful. Stay safe, okay?
All right. Take care, dude.
Bye.
Later.
All right. I love you guys. I'll be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock sharp again, okay? Be careful. I'll see you later. Bye.